Hello and welcome to another episode of Talking Faith, the devotional where we just spend a little bit of time reflecting over Scripture together. Now, just before I read some Scripture for you, let me just urge you to get yourself a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. As always, find yourself a little space and just relax as we continue talking faith together. I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world. As I've been continuing to work in the cafe, I've been getting to know more people throughout our community, and the thing that I've learned is places where you can go to spend time and have fun are just so crucial for each member of us here at Killiman and out with of Killiman also. Having places to go to socialise and to grow in community is crucial. We're so lucky that our church is a place that people can do that, but there's also other places where people go. They go, for example, to bowling, golf, sports, or maybe just have like a big house that people go to quite often. A place where people can go and grow in their relationship with one another is so crucial and important. For me, growing up, a big one was the sport of rugby. When I was living in Glasgow before the age of 9, I struggled to make friends. So when we moved to Troon, my parents were quite insistent that I find something to go to where I can make friends. The first place was church, which did a great job. I've got many friends from that church that I still spend time with today. But the other thing was rugby. And as I started to learn the rules of rugby, I found out I'm not the greatest sportsman ever, and I think that's very apparent. But one thing that I did find was I am quite competitive. I love helping to be part of a great victory. And as a sports team, we were particularly good. I might have been the B squad member, but Mar was good at rugby, and they pushed and trained us. And I remember one game in particular, we were playing in Stirling, and it was during a cup, and we never won the whole tournament, but I remember helping win a particular match, and I remember it really just got me excited about the concept of competition, about working to get this great victory. I was passed to by one of the backs, and I was running forward, and I found there's no one in my way. I'm going towards the try line. I'm about to score and nobody can stop me. So I'm running, but then I run past the try line. And I keep on going to the out of bounds line, and I pop it down there and I put my hands up and celebrate. I helped my team by winning a try. But the referee quickly blows his whistle and says, out of bounds. And I was gutted. Thankfully, my coach ran along and said, he's just started playing not too long ago. He doesn't really know the rules. He thought that was the right line. Give him leeway for this one time and this one time only. And I remember seeing the referee reflecting over this bit of a moral quandary and then coming to the conclusion, he's still young, he's a kid. Okay, I'm going to have grace here. The try was allowed. And we won that match. We never won the cup, but we won that match. That was important to me. And I remember feeling this great sense of accomplishment, the fact that I was part of this great victory. And I started to relate that to my faith. I thought, okay, well, we're called to be good people, so surely God needs us to be good for him to win his great victory over earth, the victory of good against bad, of light against darkness. I was thinking that I needed to be good for God to win this fight. And when I was going through my teenage years, I started to realize, well, I keep making mistakes. I can't do it all right. Does this mean God's going to lose? And I brought this quandary to my youth worker at the time, and he said, Johnny, no, you've got it wrong here. God doesn't need us to be good to win a great victory. No, that great victory was won upon the cross 2,000 years ago. When Jesus died and a few days later rose from the dead, he won the great victory, saving all the souls of the people who believe in him. So that means when we believe, instead of us having to earn anything, it's simply through faith. God doesn't need us to win this great victory, but instead he calls us to be more like him, to be good, to be caring, to be loving, to be holy, not because he needs us to be, but because he wants us to be. He wants us to be more like him. I remember that being a real encouragement to me because it wasn't about me. I didn't have all this pressure on my shoulders. Instead, God had done the difficult bit, and I was just called to be more like him. And although that's tough, I know that if I mess up, God's already won. He doesn't need me to be able to be perfect. Instead, he calls me to. And there's grace, just like that referee who realized I'd made a mistake. There's grace because God forgives us even when we mess up. So that encourages me in my faith, and I hope it encourages you also as you think of the great team that we're part of, the team of faith here in Kilman that extends out to all the churches throughout the world. Despite the fact we mess up, God has grace on us and calls us to be part of his victory. Not a victory that we can earn, but one that he already has earned. And he calls us to be more like him because that is the best way for us to be. So hopefully that is encouragement to you as you watch this video. God bless.